Imagine a world where even the strongest cultivators tremble at a single glance. A world where laws of heaven shatter like fragile glass. And in that world, there exists someone who doesn't fight to win. He fights to decide who deserves to exist. If you enjoy my way of explaining and storytelling, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really motivates me to keep creating. Qing Shui's expression remained indifferent. He did not spare Blood God a glance. Instead, his gaze was fixed upon the demonic figure emerging from Blood God's body, and a chill gathered within his eyes. His right eye flickered with a scarlet glow saturated with killing intent. With a single step, he surged forward. The black mist in his hand abruptly expanded to 30 feet and swept toward Blood God. Blood God's face twisted with ferocity as he pointed toward the ancient lamp. He was not alone. The ancient demon mirrored his action, also pointing at the lamp. Within the ancient lamp, a flame still burned. Not far away, Wang Lin had locked his gaze onto the lamp from the very moment it appeared. At its core, he could clearly see the shadow of a struggling woman. From the flame, a faint sorrow seemed to seep outward. With Blood God's finger pointing forward, the flame inside the ancient lamp flared violently. Then the shadow of a massive ancient demon suddenly burst forth from within. This ancient demon bore an almost identical appearance to the demonic shadow surrounding Blood God. Yet its aura was incomparably more powerful. It was the difference between a firefly and the bright moon. This is the true body. Wang Lin's eyes turned cold as realization struck him. The entity within the ancient lamp was the ancient demon's true body. As for what resided within Blood God and Yao Yun, those were merely clones. Blood God let out a ferocious roar, God-devouring demonic flame. As his voice echoed, the flames from the ancient lamp spread wildly, and the true body of the ancient demon charged outward. At that instant, demonic energy surged in all directions. The entire southern domain became shrouded in dense, oppressive demonic energy. It was as though an ancient aura, long buried since primordial times, had awakened among the stars. The demonic energy destabilized the origin energy of all cultivators in the southern domain. On countless cultivation planets, beasts grew restless, absorbing the demonic energy with frenzied hunger. As the ancient demon emerged, flames engulfed its body. Its massive claw reached toward Qing Shui. Within that claw lay an aura surpassing even the laws of heaven and earth. Before it, all laws crumbled into nothingness. The flames surrounding it were inextinguishable demonic fire burning for countless years, capable of reducing all things in the world to ash. Qing Shui's expression grew solemn. He stepped forward, casting out the black mist in his hand. At the same time, his right eye glowed intensely red. Without hesitation, he unleashed the G realm. A streak of red lightning shot forth from his eye, tearing through the void. The moment the G realm appeared, dust retreated and all living beings felt fear arise from their very souls. Under this power, the demonic energy collapsed instantly, scattering as though it were nothing. The red lightning carried a terrifying aura containing all the slaughter Qing Shui had experienced in his life. It formed a storm surging forward at incredible speed toward the ancient demon. The ancient demon's eyes revealed shock. Yet it did not retreat. Instead, it reached out and grasped the G realm. In that instant, a thunderous roar resounded. The ancient demon's right claw collapsed the moment the G realm entered its body. The collapse did not stop there. It spread rapidly across its entire form. In the blink of an eye, the ancient demon's body shattered completely. However, at the moment of its destruction, the flame within the ancient lamp burned even more fiercely. The shadow of the ancient demon condensed once more. This time it was fainter. Yet between its brows a red light flickered. Upon closer inspection, that red light was the G realm. All spells in this world originate from my ancient demon clan. Only this one, which carries a trace of the heavens' power, does not belong to us. But now this power belongs to me. An ancient voice echoed across the stars. The ancient demon's eyes gleamed with demonic light. The red glow between its brows flashed, and a bolt of lightning shot toward Qing Shui. But the moment the lightning appeared, Qing Shui's gaze shattered it completely. The shock wave from its collapse rippled outward. Qing Shui remained calm. Raising his hand, he spoke in an even tone. "Shu Mi, watch carefully. This is your master's fourth spell." Mountains crumble. The ancient demon's eyes surged with demonic energy as it retreated rapidly. It seized Blood God and merged back into his body. Blood God immediately let out agonized cries. Veins bulged across Blood God's face, his expression twisted with unbearable pain. His hair rose without wind, lengthening rapidly. Two illusory horns emerged from his head while a green light enveloped his body. He no longer resembled a human. He had become an ancient demon. Dense demonic energy poured from him. His eyes lost all clarity, replaced by a cold demonic glow. With a roar, he charged at Qing Shui. Qing Shui's gaze sharpened, his right eye blazing crimson. Just as he prepared to act, his expression suddenly changed. He looked up toward the heavens. Wang Lin also raised his head at once. From above, he faintly sensed origin source energy. It was not strong, yet it gave him the terrifying feeling that a single thought from it could reduce him to nothing. This is the third step. Wang Lin's face changed drastically. Even Blood God, lost in madness, abruptly stopped and looked upward. His expression shifted. Enough. A calm voice drifted down from the stars. Then a figure formed from countless strands of starlight appeared between Qing Shui and Blood God. The moment this illusory figure appeared, he casually waved his hand toward Blood God. Blood God coughed up a mouthful of blood, and the ancient demon was forcibly expelled from his body. The ancient demon stared at the figure, shock filling its eyes. "Ancient demon, I do not mind you using the Yao family to restore your body. I do not care. But if you bring slaughter to the All-Heaven star system and disrupt the war against the Alliance star system, then I will extinguish your so-called inextinguishable demonic flame." His voice was calm, yet it carried an overwhelming authority that shook the heart. At that moment, Wang Lin felt as though he had returned 1,000 years into the past, back to when he was still mortal, looking up at cultivators. Powerful, unimaginably powerful, impossible to resist, impossible to defy. Even the thought of resistance was crushed entirely. Upon hearing such words, obedience was inevitable. "Celestial Lord Qing Shui, the celestial realm has shattered. This is the All-Heaven star system." The figure turned and looked at Qing Shui. That gaze held no visible force, yet thunderous rumbles erupted around Qing Shui, as though even the heavens themselves submitted. No resistance was permitted. Qing Shui's eyes remained cold as he stared back. After a long silence, he let out a cold snort and said nothing. The illusory figure remained indistinct, impossible to see clearly. After speaking, he extended his arm. A crystalline light spread outward. Wang Lin's pupils shrank. The shattered space around them rapidly reformed, returning to its original state. Not only that, within the southern domain, all destruction was reversed as the light passed. Even the demonic energy absorbed by beasts across countless planets dissipated silently. "If you two continue fighting, I will kill you both." With those calm words, the crystalline light faded as though nothing had ever happened. Yet those final words were enough to instill fear in all living beings. Only a fraction of his killing intent had been revealed, yet it was enough to alter the color of the world. If fully unleashed, the stars themselves would cease to exist. Blood God fell silent for a moment. Then he seized the ancient lamp. Without even glancing at Qing Shui, he merged into the void and disappeared. Only Qing Shui and Wang Lin remained. Wang Lin had yet to recover from the shock. It was something he would never forget. He was certain. That illusory figure was a third-step cultivator. That person had appeared without the slightest fluctuation. The terror embedded in his soul had not faded in the slightest. It felt as though a single thought from that being could collapse the entire southern domain. Wang Lin closed his eyes. After a long time, he suppressed the turmoil within his heart. He clasped his hands toward Qing Shui. "Thank you. I will never forget that Senior saved my life. Qing Shui gazed into the distant stars, melancholy filling his eyes. After a long silence, that feeling faded. He turned to Wang Lin and spoke calmly. "No need to thank me. I do not care how you learned Call the Wind. But since you have learned it, you are a disciple of my master across generations. I, Qing Shui, have no ties within this system. Meeting you was arranged by my master. You have yet to form your celestial origin. Without the celestial pool, it cannot be formed. Now with the Thunder Celestial Temples competition for the 108 celestial titles, the 36 heaven celestials are granted access to the celestial pool. You should go and fight for it. If you can succeed, then I will teach you Summon the Rain and Magical Arsenal. If you fail, then you simply have no destiny with these two celestial spells. I have already saved you once. That alone can be considered repayment of the karma between you and Master. Do your best." Qing Shui looked at Wang Lin. After a brief hesitation, he raised his right hand and reached into the void. A crystal-clear droplet formed cold as ice floating silently before Wang Lin. This item contains 3 uses of Summon the Rain. Use it to protect yourself. Qing Shui turned and walked into the void. His figure gradually faded. At the moment before he vanished completely, the melancholy in his eyes deepened. He murmured softly, "That person is stronger than Master. Yet he feels familiar. I must have seen him before." Wang Lin stood in silence, watching Qing Shui disappear. After a long time, he clasped his hands toward that direction. Then he took the ice crystal and vanished without a trace. That person must be a third-step cultivator. To think such a terrifying existence resides within the all-heaven star system. Wang Lin moved swiftly through the stars, heading toward the Li family. I wonder, does the Alliance star system also have a third-step cultivator? This person is far too powerful. Even a Nirvana Shatterer would be unable to resist. His eyes gleamed as his figure crossed the void. However, through the heaven-defying bead, I have already glimpsed the path toward the third step. His gaze sharpened further as he bent space and traveled. In a remote region of the southern domain, there existed a cultivation planet. Its name was Annihilation. In ancient times, this planet was renowned not only within the southern domain, but across the entire all-heaven star system. It was the home of a family that inherited ancient restrictions. The Li family. Mastering the Annihilation restriction, the Li family once stood at the peak of power. Their name shook the heavens. Yet as time passed, decline set in. The restriction leaked, their strength waned, and their glory faded. Nothing of their former brilliance remained. Their legacy was buried beneath time, no longer shining. As the Li family declined, even memory of them grew faint, as though they had never existed. Planet Annihilation became desolate. No cultivators came. Without the countless restrictions left behind, even the planet itself might have been lost. Within the Li family residence, Li Yuan stood quietly gazing into the distance. "Brother Shu, it is not that I do not wish to help you against the Yao family. It is that I am powerless." Bitterness filled his face. He wanted to help, yet his cultivation was too weak. Not only would he fail to assist, he would become a burden. He felt deep gratitude toward Shumu, especially for what happened in the Thunder Celestial realm. When Shumu sent him away and chose to remain behind, Li Yuan sighed softly, then walked out of the room. He looked up at the sky. Memories of the Thunder Celestial realm resurfaced one after another. "Brother Shu, if you were here, I would teach you the Annihilation restriction heart without holding anything back." As he muttered, his expression suddenly changed. His eyes widened as he stared upward. The sky rippled. It was as though the heavens had turned into a vast pool of water. From within the ripple, Wang Lin stepped out. He stood in the air and immediately saw Li Yuan. A faint smile appeared on his lips as he stepped forward. Inside the Li family ancestral hall lay a black pool. Wang Lin and Li Yuan sat within the water. From the center of the pool, a whirlpool emitted a chilling aura. Yet this whirlpool was weak. As it rotated, it only caused faint ripples. Li Yuan closed his eyes. A black light emerged from between his brows. It transformed into thin black lines that flowed into the pool. The moment these lines touched the water, it was like dragons entering the sea. The ripples intensified. Wang Lin sat opposite him. They had cultivated here for 3 days. 3 days ago, Wang Lin arrived and reunited with Li Yuan. Li Yuan then brought him here to pass on the Annihilation Restriction Heart. Only with the Restriction Heart could the Annihilation Restriction reveal its true power. And this inheritance could only take place within the Ancestral Hall. The black lines flowing from Li Yuan merged into the pool, dissolving as though becoming one with it. At the same time, black water gathered around Wang Lin, slowly condensing between his brows. As time passed, exhaustion began to show on Li Yuan's face. Normally, the inheritance of the Restriction Heart was performed by an ancestor nearing death. Yet now to repay Wang Lin, Li Yuan did not hesitate. He split half of the Restriction Heart and gave it away. On the 5th day, Li Yuan appeared aged. 5 days, yet it felt like 50 years had passed. The black light between his brows had dimmed significantly. More than half of it had already entered the pool. The whirlpool grew stronger. Its rotation intensified gradually, forming the outline of a storm. Li Yuan struggled out of the pool, his body trembling with fatigue. He sat down nearby and looked at Wang Lin. "Brother Shu, I have repaid your kindness." He closed his bloodshot eyes and began cultivating to recover. The cost he paid was immense. Losing a large portion of the Restriction Heart caused his mastery of restrictions to decline greatly. Within the pool, Wang Lin remained seated. The whirlpool intensified further. On the 6th day, it transformed into a storm. The black water surged upward surrounding him. Cold energy spread outward, freezing parts of the pool. Within the storm, black lines continuously entered his forehead. They formed intricate flower-like patterns, layering one upon another. At this moment, Wang Lin entered a mysterious state. All knowledge of the Annihilation Restriction appeared within his mind. It began to merge and resonate with his previous understanding. As the black lines engraved themselves upon him, the profundity of restrictions deepened within his heart. On the 9th day, Wang Lin suddenly opened his eyes. The whirlpool collapsed instantly. Water scattered in all directions, accompanied by a burst of icy energy. A strange light flickered within Wang Lin's eyes. Countless restrictions seemed to flow through them. It was as if he could see through all restrictions in existence. He raised his right hand and pointed. The scattered black water trembled, then gathered into his palm, forming a black sphere. The sphere radiated a cold, dark aura as though it could envelop the entire hall. Wang Lin stared at it, then slowly closed his eyes. Moments later, he opened them again. He slapped his storage bag. A large amount of soil flew out. This soil had been collected in the Thunder Celestial Realm under Li Yuan's guidance. With a wave of his hand, all the soil entered the black sphere. The sphere solidified. At the same time, Wang Lin spat out a mouthful of origin energy. When it touched the sphere, it shone brightly. The sphere shrank its form, changing rapidly. In the end, it became an octagonal compass. Each generation of Annihilation Restriction descendants must possess their own heart restriction compass. Congratulations, Brother Shu. Li Yuan opened his weary eyes and smiled. His expression was sincere, without the slightest trace of falseness. The compass in Wang Lin's hand sank into his palm, moved through his body, and flickered between his brows before vanishing. Wang Lin stepped forward and clasped his hands. "Many thanks, Brother Li." Li Yun shook his head with a faint smile. "There is no need. Brother Shu, you are the benefactor of my Li family. This is only natural. What are your plans now?" Wang Lin fell into thought. Days ago, when he arrived here, Li Yuan had told him many things. Among them was the title others had given him, Master Demon. He also learned of the Thunder Celestial Temple's 108 Celestial Battle, where the 4 domains would serve as the battlefield. A firm resolve rose within him, not only for the 2 celestial spells Qing Shui mentioned, but also for the promise from the Shang family of planet Donglin. The 36 Heaven Celestials would receive a promise from the Thunder Celestial Temple, and from 2 ancient Cultivation families. Wang Lin's eyes shone. "Brother Li, are you interested in competing for one of the 108 celestial titles?" Li Wen hesitated. After a long time, he gave a bitter smile. "With my current cultivation, it would be meaningless. I plan to enter seclusion and break through to the illusory yin stage." Determination filled his gaze. He had to succeed, to restore the Li family's former glory. Wang Lin nodded. "With your talent, a breakthrough is only a matter of time." After a moment of thought, he took out a jade slip and engraved the Thunder Origin spell within it. "Brother Li, this jade contains a cultivation method. If you study it carefully, your chances of breaking through will increase significantly." Li Yuan accepted the jade. After examining it, shock filled his eyes. Although the Li family once possessed ancient inheritances, most had been lost. Only the annihilation restriction remained. In truth, they were now no stronger than an ordinary cultivation family. Though the Thunder Origin spell was not extremely rare, it was still valuable. He nodded. "Brother Shu, there is no need for thanks between us. If one day I break through, I will find you. Then we shall wander the stars together like true celestials. That will be a joyous day." Wang Lin smiled. "Brother Li, farewell." He stepped forward. Ripples spread beneath his feet. Then he disappeared. Thunder Celestial Temple was about to bestow 108 celestial titles. The 4 great domains would become a vast arena where fierce competition would erupt. This was the first time celestial titles had been granted since the collapse of the celestial realm. There was also Celestial Lord Qing Shui, who would personally impart celestial spells. In addition, the 2 ancient families, along with the mysterious clan from primal times, had promised access to the celestial pool. All of this had pushed the celestial title competition to its absolute peak. Through this competition, they sought to ignite the battle intent of the entire all-heaven star system. They would raise it to its highest point before the coming war against the Alliance star system. Countless cultivation families from all 4 domains would send their chosen disciples to designated arenas. There, under the supervision of a messenger from the Thunder Celestial Temple, 108 cultivators would be selected from each domain. These chosen few would then proceed to the Thunder Celestial Temple for the final contest. Southern Domain, one of its 3 main planets, Planet Earth Flame. In the void, thousands of kilometers away from the planet, a radiant light spread outward. In that distant space, countless cultivators had gathered. This was the battlefield of the Southern Domain. Across the void floated innumerable blue stones. Upon each stone sat one person, or sometimes several. The stones were scattered densely, forming a vast field. These blue stones had been prepared for spectators. Those who came to observe the competition sat upon them. At present, no fewer than tens of thousands of cultivators occupied these stones. Their cultivation levels varied greatly. Most were at the first step. Some accompanied family members who would compete. Others had come simply to broaden their horizons, hoping to witness celestial spells firsthand. Among the sea of blue stones were many red stones. Each red stone bore a cultivator with bright eyes and surging battle intent. These were the participants, those who had earned the right to contend for celestial titles in the Southern Domain. There were roughly 300 to 400 such red stones. From among them, 108 would be chosen to advance to the Thunder Celestial Temple. At this moment, within the vast battlefield spanning thousands of kilometers, 2 cultivators were locked in combat. Spells collided in dazzling bursts. The 2 sides were evenly matched. All spectators watched closely, especially those who would soon enter battle. Their gazes were even more intense. Of course, there were also those who glanced only briefly before looking away. Such battles could not stir their interest. Zhang Kongli was one of them. The Zhan family was a powerful clan. Among its younger generation, Zhang Kongli stood at the very peak. His family had given him a clear mandate to place within the top 10 of the Southern Domain. Top 10. His gaze swept coldly across the battlefield. If nothing unexpected happens, it is already mine. His eyes settled upon a red stone in the distance. There sat Shen Gonghu, eyes closed in quiet meditation. As if sensing the gaze upon him, Shen Gonghu opened his eyes. Their gazes met. Both smiled faintly. Then, without a word, they withdrew their attention. After turning away, Shen Gonghu looked into the distance. His expression grew bleak. When he had learned that the Yao family was hunting his lord, he had intended to intervene. But the ancestor of the Shengong family had personally appeared to stop him. Though unwilling, he had no choice but to yield. Yet in his heart a cold sneer remained. The Yao family. They were courting death by provoking his lord. What followed had gone far beyond his expectations. His lord had counterattacked again and again. He had slain numerous cultivators. He had claimed the title Master Demon. In the end, a heaven-shaking battle in the northern domain caused the name Shu Mu to resound throughout the all-heaven star system. Outwardly, it all seemed glorious. But Shen Gonghu knew it was not so simple. He fell silent for a long time, recalling the past. Bitterness stirred within his heart. With his intellect, he had begun to form certain suspicions. I fear Shu Mu is not as powerful as I once believed. His cultivation may even be below mine. Even with all his effort, at most he has reached the peak of corporeal yang, just like me. Alas, his thoughts grew tangled. Quietly, he withdrew his gaze from the void. Zhang Kongli's thoughts were no less complicated. He was just as perceptive as Shen Gonghu. When news spread of Wang Lin being hunted by the Yao family, he had gradually seen through the truth. Bitterness filled his heart. Shu Mu, I never thought that even I, Zhang Kongli, would one day be deceived. It was not that I failed to see through his cultivation. It was that there was nothing to see through. That was truly his level. He must have encountered a great fortune within the thunder celestial realm to reach the corporeal yang stage. He was never concealing his cultivation as I once believed. Even now, he should still be at corporeal yang. I misjudged him. Zhang Kongli sighed softly. Disappointment lingered in his eyes. Behind him, Zhan Yun sat upon a blue stone. When she saw his frown, she too sighed. She understood clearly. Her cousin was thinking of that senior. During this time, that senior's name had spread across the all-heaven star system. Each time she recalled the events within the thunder celestial realm, her heart trembled. If not for that senior leading the way, she would have died long ago. On another red stone sat Tang Yanfeng. He observed all this, let out a cold snort, but said nothing. Zhan Kongli, Shen Gonghu, Tang Yanfeng. These three were renowned throughout the southern domain. They were known as the Three Calamities. Beyond the spectators from various families, there were also individuals responsible for overseeing the competition. 3 among them were from the Thunder Celestial Temple. 2 wore green robes. Their expressions were cold as they observed everything. The third was an elderly man in a purple robe. His eyes were closed as if indifferent to all that transpired. The 2 green-robed messengers treated the purple-robed elder with the utmost respect. Even the surrounding ancestors of the southern domain showed him deep reverence. Aside from them, there were also numerous ancestors from major cultivation families. They sat upon white stones. There were very few such stones, less than 10. Yet each person seated upon them possessed immense fame and power. Notably absent were the ancestor of the Shengong family and Li Yunzi. Within the arena, the battle was nearing its conclusion. Members of the 2 competing families watched anxiously. Moments later, one cultivator trembled as a spell struck his body. His face turned pale. Blood seeped from the corner of his mouth. Seeing his opponent closing in, he sighed. I admit defeat. The pursuing cultivator laughed, then halted his advance. At that moment, a flash of thunder appeared within the arena. A figure emerged. It was one of the green-robed messengers. His gaze swept across the field as he spoke calmly. Li Ye wins. Far beyond planet Earth Flame, in the distant void, Wang Lin appeared. His figure stood hundreds of thousands of kilometers away. His eyes were cold as he gazed into the distance. Li Yuan said the Southern Domain competition would be held at planet Earth Flame. Each participant must possess a qualification token. Without a token, entry is forbidden. Once it begins, the area within 100,000 kilometers will be sealed. Those who arrive late will not be allowed to enter. Wang Lin let out a faint, cold snort. He stepped forward. Ripples spread beneath his feet. With a second step, he vanished. Within 100,000 kilometers of planet Earth flame, cultivators were stationed at intervals of 10,000 kilometers. They formed concentric rings around the planet. A barrier, a net. Streams of spiritual energy flowed from each of them, intertwining tightly. Any disturbance would be instantly detected. Among them sat Wang Lin. He hovered among the stars, anger simmering within him. He belonged to the Meng family of planet Earth flame. Originally, he had hoped to observe the competition, to witness celestial spells with his own eyes. Instead, he had been assigned to guard duty here. His resentment grew. Thinking of how his peers had mocked him, rejoicing at his misfortune, his mood darkened further. No matter how he tried, he could not calm himself enough to cultivate. If only I could witness the celestial spells displayed in this competition, especially those of the three calamities. It would greatly benefit my cultivation. Alas, he sighed deeply. He was only at the late stage of soul transformation. The final step into the ascendant stage remained out of reach. Suddenly his pupils contracted. 1,000 feet ahead, space rippled. As the ripples spread, a figure stepped out. Clad in white, black hair drifting without wind. Most striking of all, his eyes. Brilliant. Terrifying. The instant Wang Lin met that gaze, it was as if countless bolts of thunder exploded within his mind. His origin soul nearly collapsed. His spiritual energy burst outward uncontrollably. In that instant, he lost consciousness. Wang Lin's figure flickered as he walked past him. Only after Wang Lin had gone far away did Wang Lin regain awareness. Confusion filled his face. He looked around but saw nothing. Strange. Why did I fall into a trance just now? He scratched his head, unable to understand. With another sigh, he closed his eyes and began to cultivate. Strangely, this time his mind settled quickly. Before long, he entered a state of deep cultivation. Wang Lin did not merge with the world upon reaching a distance of 100,000 kilometers from planet Earth, flame. Instead, he advanced step by step, his speed steadily increasing. The reason he refused to merge with the world or employ spatial bending was simple. This battle held immense importance. To him, with each step he took, his heart grew calmer. His gaze became terrifyingly tranquil. A surge of battle intent rose within him, intensifying with every stride forward. That battle intent expanded wildly as Wang Lin advanced. In the end, it condensed into a storm that followed behind him. The storm was overwhelming, containing the entirety of his will to fight. Among the 108 celestial titles, I seek one of the 36 heaven celestial titles, not one of the 72 earth celestial titles. Wang Lin's eyes turned cold. He had to win. To compete for the 108 celestial titles, this was only the beginning. Only by securing qualification in the southern domain could he truly enter the competition. The storm formed by his battle intent spread madly. This shocking aura faintly merged with the world itself. Within it, a black fish and a white fish rotated endlessly. The storm spanned tens of thousands of kilometers and continued to expand. This battle intent came from Wang Lin's heart. At this moment, his heart was filled with killing intent. His black hair fluttered wildly, and he appeared like a celestial demon descending upon the world. The white of his robes was no longer snow white, it was the pale white of bone. Not only did he have to win, he had to win completely. Only then would the Xiang family regard him with seriousness when he sought them out. The battle intent in Wang Lin's eyes reached its peak. Yet within it lingered a trace of sorrow. That sorrow came from Wan Er. He still remembered the illusion of the entire world collapsing when Li Muan's final tear fell. That unbearable loneliness, that suffocating sorrow. He could never forget that upon reaching the ascendant stage, he had been willing to defy the heavens for that sliver of emotion he refused to abandon. His journey to the all-heaven star system, every battle he had fought, was for Wan Er's resurrection. The words spoken by the woman of the Xiang family echoed in his mind like endless thunder. That was the fundamental reason he had come here. He could not lose. There was also Qing Shui's test. Wang Lin would not allow himself to fail. Holding on to this unshakable belief and invincible battle intent, the origin energy within Wang Lin's body surged violently. The storm behind him grew larger. The yin and yang fish spun faster and faster. This overwhelming battle intent spread wildly, echoing throughout 10,000 kilometers around planet Earth Flame. Wang Lin moved step by step, his speed increasing continuously. He became faster than thunder, faster than meteors, faster even than light itself. At such speed, he charged directly into the region within 30,000 kilometers of planet Earth Flame. At that instant, the two cultivators locked in battle turned pale. Terror filled their eyes. They even forgot to continue fighting. Both turned toward the source of that overwhelming fear. Not just them, almost everyone within 10,000 kilometers felt their expressions change. They all looked toward the distance. Even the two blue-robed messengers of the Thunder Celestial Temple felt their hearts pound violently. The blood in their bodies seemed to freeze. Only their origin energy surged madly, as if failing to do so would leave them unable to resist. The ancestors of the cultivation families opened their eyes from meditation. They stared into the distance, shock flashing in their eyes. What a terrifying battle intent. If even they felt this way, there was no need to speak of others. All the observing cultivators were shaken. The spiritual energy within their bodies began to circulate uncontrollably. Faced with such vast and unimaginable battle intent, if they did not do this, their hearts would not endure. This battle intent was too powerful, too intense, too overbearing. Battle. Endless battle intent seemed to form a single word battle that echoed in the ears of every cultivator present. Though no sound was made, it reverberated within their minds. Those with weaker cultivation immediately coughed blood, suffering internal injuries. As they succumbed to this battle intent, an irresistible thought emerged within them. Shen Gonghu's eyes widened. He abruptly stood up. A force surged from the depths of his soul like a flood. In his mind, it was as if a primordial beast was approaching from afar. This endless battle intent made his blood boil. It felt as though he held his breath. If he did not release it, he would be injured. But that was not the most critical part. Within that battle intent, there was a familiar aura. That aura, combined with the bitterness in his heart, created a complex and overwhelming emotion. Respected. Lord. Shen Gonghu's body trembled. He had once believed he had been abandoned, that his faith had been misplaced, that he had been deceived. Yet at this moment a power rose within him, once more filling him with excitement, yet also with a trace of unwillingness. Roar. Shen Gonghu let out a roar that shook his surroundings. This aura absorbed all the conflicting emotions within him and transformed into battle intent. That battle intent surged outward like a massive dragon. He was not alone. At that moment, Zhan Congli also stood up, staring ahead. Though he could not sense Xu Mu as Shen Gonghu could, the familiar aura within the battle intent stirred suspicion within him. Bearing the pressure of that overwhelming intent and carrying the unyielding spirit of the Zhan family, he resembled a sword drawn from its sheath. A monstrous battle intent erupted from him following Shen Gonghu's release. His battle intent also transformed into a dragon, but one formed from sword energy charging outward. Tang Yanfeng slowly rose. A dense killing intent exploded from his body. Like lightning, he shot toward the source of the battle intent. His gaze was cold. His killing intent shook the heavens. That killing intent fused with battle intent, forming a storm. It merged with the battle intents of Shen Gonghu and Zhan Congli, surging forward to meet Wang Lin's incoming force. Under such pressure, these three were not the only ones stirred. Moments later, dozens of battle intents erupted, each carrying unyielding will, roaring like thunder. The scene shocked all surrounding cultivators. Only the purple-robed elder from the Thunder Celestial Temple remained calm. His eyes were closed, unmoved. Storms of battle intent collided with Wang Lin's advancing force. Explosions erupted upon impact. It seemed as if space itself, across tens of thousands of kilometers, trembled. Dressed in white, Wang Lin approached step by step. As he drew closer, the battle intents directed toward him were gradually suppressed. His cold gaze, his killing intent, his overwhelming will, they crushed everything before him without mercy. A roar echoed as Tang Yanfeng charged forward. A red sword appeared in his hand, radiating terrifying sword energy. As his origin energy surged, countless spells formed around him. They transformed into scarlet lotuses, rushing toward Wang Lin. Behind him, cultivators who could resist the oppressive battle intent followed, charging together. A cold glint flashed in Wang Lin's eyes. He stepped forward. Raising his right hand, the origin energy within him surged like a tempest. His early-stage Nirvana Scryer cultivation erupted outward, sweeping across the battlefield. As his origin energy spread, terror appeared in Tang Yanfeng's eyes. He had never imagined that the man before him had already broken through the corporeal Yang stage and entered the Nirvana Scryer stage. At the moment that fear surfaced, Wang Lin arrived. He unleashed a heavenly chop. It collided with Tang Yanfeng's red sword, shattering it instantly. Fragments scattered and were blown away. Tang Yanfeng cried out. Wang Lin's two fingers formed a sword, piercing through all his spells. The scarlet lotuses collapsed one by one. Explosions echoed continuously. Wang Lin's fingers did not stop. They pressed directly against Tang Yanfeng's chest. A thunderous sound rang out. Tang Yanfeng coughed blood as he was thrown backward. Cracking sounds echoed from his body. Thunder burst forth within him. His origin soul was injured as he was sent flying far away. All of this happened in a single instant, unimaginably fast. With Wang Lin's early-stage Nirvana Scryer cultivation, repelling a peak corporeal Yang cultivator required no effort. Had he intended to kill Tang Yanfeng, would already be dead. Wang Lin withdrew his hand. His third eye opened, releasing a ray of light. He turned toward the cultivators who had followed Tang Yanfeng. Their expressions changed drastically. Their spells collapsed back into origin energy. All of them coughed blood and were forced backward. Wang Lin's gaze remained cold as he spoke slowly. Of the 108 qualification spots in the southern domain, Shu Mu will take first place. Among the surrounding cultivators, someone immediately cried out, Shu Ma, Master Demon Shu Mu. He is Shu Mu, I have seen him with my own eyes. Shu Mu of the western domain, the one who slaughtered entire planets. This is the man hunted by the Yao family, yet in the end forced them to retreat in defeat. The first cultivator to survive the Heaven Order. They say the Yao family suffered grievous losses. Many of their members were slain by Demon Master Shu Mu, and not only that, every cultivation family that joined the hunt now lives in unease. As long as Shu Mu still lives, they fear the day he returns for vengeance. After a brief silence, voices erupted in every direction. The name Shu Mu carried overwhelming weight. Across the All-Heaven Star system, there was scarcely anyone who did not know it. Shen Gonghu stared blankly at Wang Lin. Within his heart, a storm of conflicting emotions slowly surfaced. Yet what shook him most was Wang Lin's cultivation early-stage Nirvana Scryer. That shock surged from the depths of his being, flooding through his entire body. He could not be certain. He truly could not determine whether the man before him was exactly who he believed him to be. Zhang Kongli was equally stunned. He had not expected the familiar battle intent he sensed to belong to Wang Lin. Wang Lin's cultivation left him utterly bewildered. The first time I saw him, he stood at the peak of late-stage Ascendant. The second time he had reached corporeal Yang. And now this third time, early-stage Nirvana Scryer. Could it be? He was never concealing his cultivation. Zhang Kongli's thoughts fell into disarray. Senior. At his side, Zhan Yun rose abruptly, her face filled with astonishment. She immediately flew forward, stopping dozens of feet from Wang Lin, and bowed with utmost respect. She was not alone. Others who had once been saved by Wang Lin also surged forward, their expressions filled with excitement as they bowed deeply. Seeing them, Wang Lin merely nodded. At that moment, a gloomy roar echoed from a distant white stone. Upon it sat an old man. Beside him lay Tang Yanfeng unconscious. "You, what right do you have to demand first place among the 108 spots of the southern domain?" the old man said coldly, his eyes brimming with killing intent. "You possess no qualification token. Such arrogance is nothing less than disregarding every cultivator in the southern domain." In his eyes, though Xu Mu had not killed Tang Yanfeng, the damage inflicted was severe. Even if Tang Yanfeng recovered, his cultivation would fall drastically. In his current state, he had no chance of contending for a celestial title. Wang Lin's gaze remained cold as it settled upon the old man. At this moment, a middle-aged man stood up roughly 1,000 feet away. He was one of those Wang Lin had rescued from the Thunder Celestial Realm. After a brief hesitation, he clenched his teeth, turned toward the Tang family elder, and spoke. "My Chen family of the Southern Domain All-Heaven Star System recommends Senior Xu Mu to participate. I ask, does my Chen family possess the qualifications?" The Tang elder's eyes flickered. He did not respond to the man. Instead, he looked toward the Chen family ancestor. Soon after, another cultivator rose, an elderly man. Facing the Tang elder, he said calmly, "The Zhao family of the Southern Domain recommends Senior Xu Mu. I wonder if in Senior Tang's eyes, my Zhao family is qualified. All-Heaven Star System, Southern Domain's Li family recommends Senior Xu Mu for the battle." A middle-aged man in dark blue stepped forward. "Do we possess the qualifications?" "The Zheng family also recommends Senior Xu Mu." A woman in a colorful robe stepped out next. Her voice was soft yet resolute. "I wonder if my Zheng family is qualified. I am a direct descendant of the Miao family." A cold youth in black stepped forward slowly. "My Miao family is one of the families of the 3 main planets. I recommend Senior Xu Mu." "Senior Tang, are we qualified?" These 4 had all once been saved by Wang Lin within the Thunder Celestial Temple. Gratitude lingered in their hearts. Yet when Wang Lin had been hunted by the Yao family, their familial ties had bound their hands. That guilt remained. Now, without hesitation, they stood at his side. This scene caused the Tang elder's expression to shift drastically. Even the Chen family ancestor was momentarily stunned. A bitter smile crossed his face as he chose to simply close his eyes. Not only him, the leaders of the families who supported Wang Lin all closed their eyes, remaining silent and indifferent. Yet if anyone dared question their family's qualifications, they would demand an answer. Planet Earth Flame's Meng family recommends Senior Xu Mu. I ask, are we qualified? Another cultivator stepped forward, unafraid, staring directly at the Tang elder. Planet Thundercloud's Bailey family recommends Senior Xu Mu. Planet Darkwater's Seekong family recommends Senior Xu Mu. Planet Earthflame's Zhou family recommends Senior Xu Mu. Planet Sky Blue's Ning family also recommends Senior Xu Mu. As one of the families of the main planets, do we have the qualifications? As these voices rose even more, cultivators stepped forward, gathering beside Wang Lin. All of them were survivors who had escaped the Thunder Celestial Realm under his guidance. The sight before him shook the Tang elder deeply. His gaze swept across the cultivators standing beside Wang Lin, all staring toward his clan's junior. Though his cultivation was profound, he fell into silent contemplation. These juniors themselves held little weight. But the fact that their family elders had not stopped them, this alone caused the Tang elder to feel for the first time a trace of shock toward Xu Mu. He himself was at the Nirvana Scryer stage. Like Wang Lin, he was in the early stage. Yet he had cultivated within this realm for countless years, already reaching its peak. Within the all-heaven star system, among ordinary cultivation families, yin-yang stage cultivators could be regarded as ancestors. Without extraordinary fortune, Nirvana Scryer cultivators simply could not appear. Only the great families of the main planets possess such experts, and even then rarely more than one per clan. Only a family like the Tang family, just one step beneath the Yao family, with inherited celestial legacies, could possess multiple second-step cultivators. This was the accumulation of tens of thousands of years, something that could not be forced. Among the 4 second-step cultivators of the Tang family, he was the weakest. Zhang Congli remained silent for a long time. Then he raised his head and looked directly at the Tang elder. Zhang Congli, representing the Zhan family, recommends Senior Xu Mu. He said, "Senior Tang, do I lack the qualifications?" The Tang elder's expression darkened further. Shen Gonghu also recommends Senior Xu Mu to participate. Shen Gonghu spoke simply, yet his gaze was filled with unwavering resolve. The Tang elder sneered. Just as he was about to speak, a calm voice echoed from the purple-robed elder of the Thunder Celestial Temple. "Xu Mu is qualified." With those words, the Tang elder's expression changed drastically. He knew the identity of that purple-robed elder. He did not dare oppose him. With a cold snort, he waved his sleeve, taking Tang Yanfeng with him. Members of the Tang family immediately rose into the air and followed. Before departing, the Tang elder cast a vicious glance at Wang Lin, his eyes brimming with killing intent. Wang Lin met that gaze calmly. Then he spoke a single word: "Explode." The Tang elder froze. His expression changed instantly. He turned back. Tang Yanfeng's body shattered into countless fragments. Even his origin soul was obliterated instantly, leaving no chance for rescue. Wang Lin had long hidden a force within his body. Unless one's cultivation surpassed his by an entire realm, reaching mid-stage Nirvana Scrya, it would be impossible to detect it in time. Since the Tang family harbored killing intent toward him, Wang Lin did not hesitate. He detonated that force, ensuring Tang Yanfeng's complete annihilation. "Your Tang family would do well not to become the next Yao family," Wang Lin said calmly. Yet within his voice was a chilling, cutting intent, like a blade of cold wind. "Xu Mu." The Tang elder roared in fury. A trace of grief flashed within his eyes as he lunged forward. Wang Lin's expression remained unchanged. He raised his right hand. At that moment, a cold snort echoed. The purple-robed elder opened his eyes for the first time, revealing an icy gaze. "No private battles during the competition," he said. "Tang Shan, take your people and leave. After the competition, if you seek revenge, then follow the example of the Yao family and resolve it yourselves." Tang Shan halted. After a moment of silence, he shot Wang Lin a venomous look, then turned and departed with the Tang family. The purple-robed elder then looked at Wang Lin. His eyes gleamed faintly. "You seek first place among the 108 spots of the southern domain." Wang Lin met his gaze. With his current cultivation, he could vaguely sense the powerful fluctuations of origin energy within this man. He could not see through him completely. Yet compared to the blood ancestor, this man was weaker. At the very least, he was late-stage Nirvana Scrya, or perhaps just below Nirvana Cleanser. "I do," Wang Lin said calmly. His tone was firm, his intent sharp. The purple-robed elder revealed a trace of admiration. "Very well. If no one here dares challenge you, then I will grant you first place in the Southern Domain qualification battle." His gaze swept across the cultivators seated upon the red stones. "Does anyone dare to challenge?" Finally, his eyes settled upon one man, clad in black, appearing around 40 years of age with a pale complexion. Before him, 9 blades were embedded into the ground. Even when Wang Lin's battle intent surged forth earlier, he had remained unmoved, silently cultivating. Only when Wang Lin revealed his early-stage Nirvana Scrya cultivation did he lift his head, revealing a faint, nearly imperceptible trace of battle intent. "Zhang Congli challenges Senior Xu Mu." The voice rang out abruptly. Zhang Congli stepped forward, taking a deep breath. Confusion lingered in his eyes, along with something far more complex. Yet beneath it all, battle intent burned. He cupped his hands respectfully. "If Senior can convince me," he said, "then I will offer my Tao, acknowledge you as my lord, and follow you to war against the Alliance." His words fell, and a storm erupted across the entire arena. Wang Lin had used a single spell to force Tang Yanfeng back, revealing the cultivation of an early-stage Nirvana Scrya. With this in mind, when the crowd heard Zhang Conglie's words, each person harbored different thoughts. The surrounding cultivators barely had a moment to reflect before Zhang Congli stepped forward and entered the arena. His eyes burned like torches as he fixed his gaze on Wang Lin. His expression was solemn, almost reverent. He clasped his hands and spoke, "Senior Shumu, please enlighten me." Wang Lin's face remained calm. His gaze fell upon Zhan Congli, distant and elevated as if he were looking down from above. The current Wang Lin was no longer the same as before. In the past, he could only feign the bearing of a senior. Even within the Thunder Celestial Temple, his cultivation had merely been on par with Zhan Congli's. Strictly speaking, he still had to act with caution. But now his cultivation had broken through the corporeal Yang stage and truly stepped into the second step. As he looked at Zhan Congli, his heart was utterly tranquil. Not a single ripple stirred within. Wang Lin withdrew his gaze and said calmly, "You are not my match. For the sake of our past acquaintance, withdraw." Zhan Congli fell silent. He stared at Wang Lin, a complicated light flickering in his eyes. After a moment, he spoke slowly. "Senior, 700 years ago, this junior comprehended the unyielding nature of thunder on planet Heavenly Thunder. I fused that unyielding essence into my own body. After returning, I cultivated before the relic left by my Zhan family ancestor, and there I formed my domain. My domain is unyielding battle intent. Zhan is my name. It is also my domain. Within it, there is only battle intent. With this domain, my cultivation advanced without obstruction, leaping forward again and again, until 400 years ago when I reached the corporeal Yang stage. But even until today, my cultivation has not advanced further. Senior, is my Tao right or is it wrong?" When his words fell, the surroundings grew silent. All the cultivators were quiet. Even the ancestors present did not speak. From the depths of their eyes, it was clear this question was not his alone. "I once asked my Zhan family ancestor, Li Yunzi Zhan Congli," continued his gaze fixed on Wang Lin. "But the answer I received only deepened my confusion. Senior, please enlighten me." Wang Lin's eyes remained calm. He looked at Zhan Congli and said in an even tone, "Your battle intent is very fragile." Zhan Congli's eyes flashed with brilliance, but that light quickly dimmed, replaced by deeper silence. "I presume your ancestor told you this challenge. Challenge all under the heavens whose cultivation is equal to yours. Fight without end. Comprehend what battle truly means. Win again and again, and in victory solidify your battle intent, until one day you enter a state of battle madness, and then break through to the Nirvana Scrya stage." Zhan Congli's body trembled. He abruptly raised his head and stared at Wang Lin. Though the words differed from Li Yunzi's, the essence was nearly identical. "Please enlighten me, senior." Zhan Congli stepped back several paces and bowed deeply. "For this, I am willing to offer you my Tao ideal. To give away your Tao so casually, what value remains in your so-called unyielding nature?" Wang Lin's voice was calm yet sharp. "Zhan Congli, since we share some connection, I will give you one sentence. The battle intent forged through endless combat is strong, but that strength has its limit. True battle intent is when your heart holds a belief that compels you to fight. That forces you to win. That grants you the resolve to battle, even if you must face me. Even if you must face your ancestor. Even if you must face the entire world. What of it? It is only death." His voice was steady, yet in Zhan Congli's ears it roared like thunder. The rumbling shook his mind. He staggered back several steps. The battle intent within him dispersed, replaced by a faint trace of enlightenment. "Withdraw." Wang Lin waved his sleeve. Zhan Congli was pushed out of the arena. He stood there in silence for a long time, then bowed deeply toward Wang Lin before returning to his red stone seat and entering cultivation. The surroundings remained silent. Only the man in black robes with 9 blades laid before him revealed a sharp gleam in his eyes. He raised his head and looked at Wang Lin. His voice was hoarse as he spoke, to point directly to the mysteries of the Tao. "Brother, you are a true seeker of the Tao. Your comprehension runs deep. I Nangong admire you. You are qualified to accept my challenge." His tone carried no concern for whether Wang Lin would accept. It was as if being challenged by him was itself an honor. He did not rise. Instead, his right hand formed a seal. With a casual wave, the 9 blades before him trembled violently. A terrifying blade aura surged forth. Another wave and 9 streaks of sword energy shot toward Wang Lin. The blade energy was overwhelming. As it surged forward, it carried with it a hint of law. The surrounding space twisted. Even the protective light screen trembled violently, as though it could not endure and would soon collapse. An ancestor seated upon a white stone saw this and muttered, "Nine-tune heavenly blade." At once the eyes of those around him lit up. They stared at the black-robed man, each harboring their own thoughts. The 9-tune heavenly blade of the Nangong family, from the southern domain of the All-Heaven star system. So he is from the Nangong family. Back then, the 4 great families of the southern domain were Nangong Tangjiang and Shengong. The Nangong family ranked first, but 1,000 years ago they vanished without a trace. Not even a single member remained on their cultivation planet. Even the Thunder Celestial Temple investigated, yet found no cause. No wonder I have never seen him before. So he is from the Nangong family. As murmurs spread, the 9 streaks of blade energy closed in on Wang Lin at astonishing speed. Wang Lin remained calm. The black-robed man's cultivation was the same as his early-stage Nirvana Scrya. The 9 streaks of blade energy carried a destructive law sealing off all paths of retreat. There was only one choice: to face it head-on. Wang Lin's eyes turned cold. He stepped forward and raised his right hand. "Call the wind." He spoke no more. Against this opponent, he used his strongest spell immediately. He sought first place. If he became entangled here, his momentum would falter. Victory would become distant. A gust of black wind suddenly erupted. The black wind was boundless. It swept across the entire arena. The sealing blade energy could not block it in the slightest. The blade energies shattered into fragments and were blown back. The wind howled, carrying a chilling force capable of extinguishing all life. Within it, 2 black dragons emerged. Each dragon stretched 10,000 feet in length. As their massive bodies moved, thunderous roars echoed. Their cries were like the wrath of the heavens. A dense killing intent spread across the arena. This killing intent came from Wang Lin. Though the spell was called Call the Wind, it was fueled by his origin energy. His killing intent merged into the black wind. His profound battle intent fused within it as well. Roar! The 2 black dragons roared violently. A storm was born, sweeping across the 9 streaks of blade energy. In an instant they collapsed. Within the arena, Wang Lin stood in white robes, surrounded by black wind. The 2 massive dragons coiled around him, roaring ceaselessly. Calm, unshaken, he stepped forward, walking toward the black-robed man. "If you wish to battle, then let us battle." His voice was calm to the point of coldness. At that moment, all who witnessed the spell were shaken. Even the ancestors of the cultivation families were moved. What kind of spell is this? It is far too powerful. Even through the barrier, I feel cold. It is as if ice has filled my body and slowed my blood. This is no ordinary spell. This Shu Mu truly deserves the title of Master Demon. Every one of his spells carries such demonic nature. It is terrifying. If I faced this, I would not even have the strength to resist. Where did he learn such a spell? I have never heard of it. The Yao family's thunderstorm spell is somewhat similar, but its power pales in comparison. The purple-robed elder from the Thunder Celestial Temple narrowed his eyes, a faint smile appearing. I once heard from the Temple Lord that this Shu Mu may be the cross-generation junior apprentice brother of Celestial, Lord Qing Shui. It seems not impossible, but between Lord Jaiji's 9-tune heavenly blade and this celestial spell that manifests 2 black dragons, which is stronger? The dragons roared. The cold wind surged forward as Wang Lin advanced. The freezing wind swept toward the red stone where the black-robed man sat. The man's eyes shone even brighter, yet he did not move. His right hand formed another seal. 4 of the 9 blades rose into the air, intersecting as they spun. A storm formed. As it appeared, the surrounding space began to crack, unable to withstand the force. In a hoarse voice, the man spoke slowly. Heavenly blade. Annihilation. The 4 blades shot forward, spinning within the storm. They transformed into 4 boundless heavenly blades capable of piercing the heavens. As they slashed down toward the 2 black dragons. The 9-tune heavenly blade. The heavenly blade represented the ultimate force, as if nothing in this world could withstand it. Having witnessed Qing Shui use Call the Wind twice, Wang Lin had gained deep insight. His control over the spell had improved greatly. Yet at this moment, his mind could not help but recall the painting he had seen on the 9th floor of the Thunder Celestial realm. It was as if he had become that boy once more. In that instant, enlightenment dawned. Wang Lin raised both hands slowly. It was as though his hands had merged with the 2 black dragons. Was he that youth who had once witnessed Celestial Emperor Bai Fan raise his hand and summon 9 black dragons, whose roars turned heaven and earth, pale dragons, before whom all living things were fated to perish? A strange light flickered within Wang Lin's eyes. His hands formed a seal. The eyes of the 2 roaring black dragons glowed with a demonic brilliance. That light was profound, so deep, it felt as though in this very moment the 2 black dragons had gained souls, as though they had awakened from an ancient slumber. They carried with them a primeval aura. A violent black wind surged forth, howling as it rushed toward the 4 heavenly blades. The heavenly blades were sharp enough to sever all things beneath the sky. Yet they could not cut through the souls of the black dragons. The first blade descended. It fell with a heaven-shaking explosion, drawing the gaze of every spectator. It seemed capable of devouring all existence. As it dropped, space itself twisted, as if on the verge of being torn apart. One of the black dragons lifted its head and roared. Then it charged directly at the descending blade. The moment the blade struck, an earth-shattering explosion erupted. Yet at its very tip, a crack appeared. The crack spread wildly, racing across its surface. Amid a continuous rumble, the entire blade shattered into fragments. At that instant, the second blade fell from the sky. The moment it appeared, it stirred a storm. The storm was terrifyingly powerful. As the blade descended, cracks tore open in space around it. All the fragments from the first blade were drawn in and absorbed. The second blade fell, emitting a sharp, eerie whistle. A boundless roar drowned out all sound within 10,000 kilometers. The ears of countless cultivators rang violently. Some of the weaker ones felt their vision blur at once. The second blade, carrying the force of the first, collided with the black dragon. The black dragon let out a furious roar. Its entire body trembled. It jerked its head upward, and the second blade shattered as well. The third and fourth blades followed immediately, absorbing the remnants of the first 2. The third blade dissolved on its own, merging into the fourth. Together they formed an unimaginable force. The black dragon collapsed into black wind, howling madly. At the same time, the fourth blade broke apart. The protective light screen could no longer endure the impact. It shattered into countless fragments. The barrier surrounding the arena ceased to exist. With nothing left to contain it, the destructive force spread outward unchecked. The expressions of the surrounding cultivators changed drastically. The elders of the great families acted at once, casting spells to shield their kin. Even so, the blue stones beneath them were forced backward. Many exploded directly into dust. Within 100,000 kilometers, it felt as though catastrophe had descended. The black-robed man seated on the red stone turned pale, yet his eyes shone brightly. The stone beneath him shattered. He leapt into the air. The remaining 5 blades rose and followed him. He retreated rapidly, his face drained of color. 4 blades had been enough to destroy a single black dragon. Such a clash was already shocking. Wang Lin's gaze remained cold. The second black dragon surged forward. "You wish to fight, why retreat now?" Wang Lin stepped forward, merging with the black dragon. Together they charged at the black-robed man. The black-robed man's eyes gleamed with intense battle intent. He halted mid-retreat. His hands moved swiftly before his chest, devil-slaughtering heavenly blade. The 5 blades around him trembled violently. A sharp hymn of blades echoed out. They spun rapidly, transforming into 5 streaks of silver light that shot toward Wang Lin. In an instant, they became 5 heavenly blades slashing down upon him. The black dragon roared. Its eyes blazed as it surged forward. As Wang Lin stared at the incoming blades, the painting from the 9th floor of the collection pavilion became clearer within his mind. "Call the wind, summon the rain magical arsenal." The words from the painting echoed within his thoughts. The ghostly glow in the black dragon's eyes intensified. It opened its mouth. This time what it exhaled was not merely cold air. There was rain. Though sparse, there were indeed droplets. In an instant, black wind swept across the battlefield, carrying nearly 100 drops of rain. A damp, chilling aura spread everywhere. The moment the raindrops appeared, cracking, sounds echoed from the 5 heavenly blades. The black dragon roared in fury and charged forward, colliding head-on with the 5 blades. Boom, boom, boom. Explosions rang out continuously. Space trembled. Violent shockwaves spread outward. Thousands of cultivators were forced to retreat. Only the strongest remained, witnessing the clash of these 2 formidable techniques. The dragon's roars still lingered, but its form had already vanished. The black wind had dissipated. Wang Lin's face was slightly pale. He took several steps back, yet his eyes shone brighter than ever. This man's cultivation is close to mine. He is a formidable opponent. His gaze sharpened. His figure flickered, merging into the world itself. The black-robed man retreated quickly. His face remained pale. The destruction of all 5 heavenly blades had wounded his mind. Yet there was no fear in his eyes, only a fiercer battle intent. He threw back his head and laughed wildly. "Excellent. Since I Nangong Han completed my blades, none at my level save for seniors have been my match. At the ascendant stage, I was number 1 beneath illusory yin. At the corporeal yang stage, I was number 1 beneath nirvana scrya. You are worthy to be my opponent." Laughing madly, Nangong Han formed a seal with both hands. The space before him twisted. 9 illusory blades appeared. But at the very moment they formed, a ripple emerged beside him. Wang Lin stepped out. 2 fingers formed a sword. Without hesitation, he pointed. That single point contained his Tao, contained his nirvana scrya origin energy. Black and white fishes appeared rotating. They formed a sealing force that shot toward Nangong Han. Nangong Han turned abruptly and retreated. His hands moved rapidly, forming a seal to counter. But Wang Lin had appeared too suddenly, too close. Only 2 of the 9 blades managed to intercept. Wang Lin's eyes were cold. The 2 illusory blades shattered instantly. Using their collapse as leverage, Wang Lin's fingers thrust forward, aiming between Nangong Han's brows. Nangong Han's pupils contracted. A life-and-death crisis, unlike anything he had ever felt, surged within him. Without hesitation, his palm flashed with silver light. It collided with Wang Lin's finger. A deafening bang erupted. A surge of origin energy rushed into Nangong Han's body. He trembled and was thrown backward. Blood spilled from his chest, though he forcibly suppressed it. What shocked him most was that Wang Lin's origin energy split into 2 strands, one black, one white. They wreaked havoc within his body, stubborn and destructive. There were even faint fluctuations of domain within them. Wang Lin's fingers had gone numb. Though his ambush had succeeded, his opponent had blocked it. A portion of Nangong Han's origin energy had also entered his body. He could endure it, but that energy was like a razor-sharp blade, threatening to tear him apart from within. A cold glint flashed in Wang Lin's eyes. Instead of retreating, he stepped forward, merging into the void once more. Seeing Wang Lin vanish again, Nangong Han's pupils shrank. Both hands formed a seal rapidly. 9-tune blade formation. The 2 shattered blades reformed instantly. Together with the remaining 7, they formed a formation. The blades spun rapidly, weaving countless silver threads that encircled Nangong Han before scattering outward. Wang Lin reappeared 30 feet away. The formation closed in. The beast bone on the back of his right hand lit up, manifesting instantly. The silver threads dimmed slightly to a grey hue. Seizing this moment, Wang Lin suppressed his injuries and vanished once more. Nangong Han inhaled sharply. He retreated quickly, shouting, "Stop! Stop! I admit defeat. I'm not fighting anymore. You know spatial bending. How am I supposed to fight that? Stop." He turned and fled. "I already surrendered, yet you still chase me. I'm done fighting you." A bitter smile appeared on his face. He had not wished for this outcome, but facing a Nirvana Scryer cultivator who mastered spatial bending placed him at an overwhelming disadvantage. The image of him as a peerless expert collapsed in that instant. Wang Lin appeared 200 feet away, frowning as he looked at Nangong Han. In all his years of battle, he had never encountered such a person. "I'm not fighting. Not fighting. I'll fight you again after I comprehend spatial bending. Right now, it's not worth it. I can't beat you." Nangong Han's face darkened. With a flash, he retreated toward a red stone. The person sitting there fled immediately under his gaze. Wang Lin pondered in silence for a moment. Then he looked around and spoke calmly. "Are there any more challenges?" Silence fell over the surroundings. Shen Gonghu watched quietly. The dimness in his eyes gradually faded. Though the fanaticism was gone, respect had returned. All the cultivators stared at Wang Lin, but no one stepped forward. At last, the purple-robed old man spoke slowly. "Shu Mu first among the 108 chosen of the southern domain. In 7 days you will follow me to the Thunder Celestial Temple along with the remaining 107. There were Nirvana Scryer cultivators who had taken part in the Celestial title competition, yet their number was small. Most of them stood as ancestors within their clans, bound by family ties, forced to weigh every action with caution. If such figures were to contend in a competition filled with juniors, they would inevitably earn the reputation of seizing glory from the young. Such a stain would not benefit them. Instead, it would bring quiet harm. After all, many had already discerned that the 108 Celestial title competition held by the Thunder Celestial Temple was meant for the younger generation, for those brimming with battle intent. Though it was never explicitly stated, the truth could be inferred from countless subtle signs. Thus, it was rare for Nirvana Scryer cultivators to step forward. In the southern domain, those few who existed were all clan ancestors. There was no reason for them to provoke enmity with Wang Lin. The name Shu Mu was already too well known. The title Master Demon still carried the lingering scent of blood. This Shu Mu had always remained low-key, yet now he acted openly and without restraint. It was clear he sought first place. Since that was so, it was better to yield it to him. There was no need to contend and risk forming a feud. 7 days passed in the blink of an eye. During these 7 days, Wang Lin cultivated within a residence arranged by a cultivation family on planet Earth Flame. He maintained his condition at its peak, preparing himself for the finals within the All-Heaven star system. On the first day, Shen Gonghu came to visit. He did not inquire about Wang Lin's cultivation. Instead, he spoke only of the Tao, then departed with newfound insight. Before leaving, he bowed deeply. Respect shone in his eyes. Though not as intense as before, the current Wang Lin had earned his acknowledgement. After Shen Gonghu left, others came in succession. It was not until the 4th day that silence finally returned. Wang Lin wished to cultivate in peace. Yet one person refused to let him Nangong Han. Nangong Han came with a single purpose, spatial bending. Each visit brought Wang Lin a headache. In the end, unable to endure it any longer, Wang Lin released Shu Liguo. He told Nangong Han that Shu Liguo also understood spatial bending. Whether Nangong Han believed it or not, Wang Lin did not care. He turned and left, seeking a quiet place to continue his cultivation. Poor Shu Liguo. Though Nangong Han did not truly believe Wang Lin, he found Shu Liguo agreeable. He seized him and began an endless stream of conversation. At first, Shu Liguo did not mind. But as time dragged on, he could no longer endure it. The torment grew unbearable. He could not defeat Nangong Han, nor did he dare resist. Escape was impossible. He could only nod agree and endure praying that the 7 days would pass quickly and that his master would return. On the 7th day, Wang Lin opened his eyes. His figure vanished. His divine sense spread outward, locating Xu Liguo. Yet when he saw him, Wang Lin's brows furrowed. Xu Liguo's devilish body had grown faint, almost collapsing. Before him, Nangong Han continued speaking, utterly absorbed. In a daze, Xu Liguo saw Wang Lin. His entire being trembled with excitement. He rushed forward desperately. If he had tears, they would already be falling. "Master, you finally returned. Little Xu will never dare to scheme again. Please, Master, let me go back. This person, he's too terrifying. Master, don't abandon me. Little Xu cannot leave you." His voice was filled with misery, stretched thin by torment. This was the first time Wang Lin had seen Xu Liguo in such a wretched state. He raised his right hand, placing Xu Liguo back into his storage bag. Then his gaze shifted to Nangong Han. Nangong Han was in high spirits, though a trace of awkwardness lingered on his face. He rubbed his hands and nodded. "Brother Xu, your treasure spirit is excellent. The moment I saw him, I knew we would get along. In the future, we should spend more time together." Wang Lin frowned. He said nothing. Turning, he stepped forward and vanished once more. Regret filled Nangong Han's face. He quickly followed behind, muttering inwardly, "Such a fine treasure soul. If only I could defeat this Xu Mu. I would have taken it already." The remaining 107 participants from the southern domain had already been selected. The purple-robed old man took out a black stone and crushed it. Instantly, countless points of crystalline light spread outward, forming an illusory array. The formation was vast, over 1,000 feet wide. The purple-robed elder stepped in first. The 2 green-robed messengers followed closely behind. Their figures vanished within the array. One by one, the 108 participants entered. Wang Lin stepped in among them. Shengong, Hujiang, Kongli, and others were also present. The formation flickered and disappeared. Together with them all, the Thunder Celestial Temple stood as an immense force within the All-Heaven star system. Through generations of expansion, it had become the strongest openly acknowledged power in the entire system. Its location remained a mystery. No one knew where it lay. Even its messengers could only reach it through special formations. There was no other path. At this moment, the area within 100,000 kilometers of the Thunder Celestial Temple had been sealed. Messengers and servants filled the region. The celestial title competition was of utmost importance. Within this domain, fighting was strictly forbidden. Any violation would bring immediate intervention from the Thunder Celestial Temple. 4 massive transfer arrays surrounded the temple. One of them, the northern array, lit up. Figures emerged. Under the guidance of messengers, participants from the northern domain stepped out one by one. Their expressions were calm. Very few showed excitement. Instead, each of them carried a quiet, restrained battle intent. Soon after, the southern and western arrays also lit up simultaneously. A large number of figures appeared. Wang Lin was among them. He stepped forward, glanced around, yet his expression remained unchanged. The Thunder Celestial Temple resembled the imperial palace of a mortal empire, vast, majestic, and wrapped in layers of restrictions. As Wang Lin sensed those fluctuations, his eyes narrowed. With his understanding of restrictions, he could clearly perceive the terrifying level they had reached. Even with his current cultivation, should he recklessly intrude, death would be certain. And it was not only the temple itself. As Wang Lin continued to observe, his frown deepened. Every blade of grass, every plant, even the drifting clouds, all were filled with powerful restrictions. He was not the only one observing. Nearly everyone present was doing the same. Suddenly, the formation to the east lit up. All attention shifted toward it. The eastern array shone brightly. 3 figures stepped out, messengers of the Thunder Celestial Temple. Their expressions were dark, heavy. They walked quickly from the formation. One of them even glanced back, fear evident in his eyes. Wang Lin's pupils contracted. At the same moment, a dense scent of blood spread from the eastern array. The formation flickered once more. Only a single figure stepped out. "There is no need to wait," the person said calmly. "I have already killed the remaining 107. This voice carried a piercing chill. When it fused with the scent of blood, it stirred a surge of killing intent in every heart. All eyes turned at once toward the eastern transfer array, swift as lightning. Within it, a figure gradually became clear. It was a slender man, seemingly around 30 years of age. He wore a white robe, yet there was no trace of elegance about him. Instead, a cold, oppressive aura clung to his presence. His eyes held a frigid arrogance brimming with killing intent. The transfer array flickered. The man stepped forward. As he emerged, the smell of blood thickened, spreading through the air. "A bunch of trash." His voice was calm, yet when it sounded, it was like thunder erupting. The cultivators gathered here were elites of the all-heaven star system. Hearing his words, their gazes toward him instantly turned hostile. Wang Lin's expression remained calm as he withdrew his gaze. This man possessed the same cultivation level as him, early-stage Nirvana Scryer. However, something about him felt strange. Wang Lin was certain he had never seen this person before. Just as the thought arose, the white-robed man's eyes lit up. His gaze swept through the crowd and locked onto Wang Lin. The moment he saw Wang Lin, he licked his lips and revealed a grim smile. Wang Lin returned the look calmly. Their gazes pierced through the crowd and collided. Though they appeared illusory, they contained their divine senses. This was no simple glance, it was a clash of divine sense. It was as if two sharp swords had crossed. The collision lasted only an instant. Both withdrew immediately. The white-robed man's eyes gleamed. He examined Wang Lin carefully. When their divine senses collided, not only had he failed to suppress Wang Lin, he had even felt his own divine sense nearly pierced. Wang Lin's expression did not change as he withdrew his gaze. Though their cultivation levels matched, there was a strange force hidden within the other man's divine sense. Very few noticed this silent exchange. Only 4 people in total perceived it. One was from the northern domain, a pale-faced, middle-aged man. The most peculiar thing about him was his right hand. He had 6 fingers. Another finger branched from his thumb. The second was also from the northern domain, a boy with an abnormally large and uneven head. Around him a space of 30 feet remained empty. No one dared approach. The boy wore a foolish smile. After glancing at Wang Lin, he fixed his gaze on the white-robed man. His smile grew even wider. The third observer came from the western domain. He wore a blue robe and possessed strikingly handsome features. When his eyes opened, golden light flickered within. He stared at Wang Lin deep in thought. The fourth was naturally Nangong Han, standing beside Wang Lin. At that moment, the sky turned red. Clouds gathered in great numbers, condensing above into the form of an old man. His hair was white, and he exuded the aura of a celestial. Beneath him, thunder rumbled as though he stood upon it. "I am a welcoming messenger of the Thunder Celestial Temple. Was it you who killed the other participants from the Eastern Domain?" As he spoke, a powerful aura spread outward. The origin energy he released revealed a mid-stage Nirvana Scryer cultivation. His gaze fixed on the white-robed man. His voice carried authority. "That's correct." The white-robed man remained calm. The old man showed neither joy nor anger. He shouted, "State your name and your origin." "Planet Donglin Shu family. The one sent out this generation for training Shu Ting." As he spoke, he once again looked at Wang Lin, that grim smile lingering. The moment he mentioned the Shu family of planet Donglin, it was as though thunder exploded among the crowd. Expressions shifted. Some gasped. Others instinctively stepped back, their eyes filled with fear. Though the Xiang family was the most powerful on planet Donglin in terms of notoriety, the Zhu family stood unmatched. The Shu family meant endless slaughter. In every generation, the one sent out for training would unleash massacres. Any who dared provoke them would see their entire planet destroyed. Their fame had been forged through waves of blood. No wonder he dares offend over 100 cultivation families. The one sent out this generation from the Zhu family. Anyone who encounters him in the competition is as good as dead. Forget it. The Zhu family has always been ruthless. If things turn bad, I'll just withdraw. Whispers spread throughout the crowd. The Zhu family's methods chilled the heart. The old man frowned slightly. The battle for the 108 celestial titles will begin at noon 3 days from now. Later members of the Thunder Celestial Temple will distribute tokens and arrange your lodging. After speaking, he paused. His eyes brightened as his gaze swept across the crowd. Is Xu Mu among you? At his words, aside from those from the southern domain, cultivators from the western and northern domains grew serious. The name Xu Mu was no less renowned than the Xu family of planet Donglin. Many even suspected he belonged to that very family. Wang Lin pondered briefly. Then he raised his head and spoke calmly. I am Xu Mu. In an instant, gazes from the western and northern domains converged upon him. The southern domain cultivators revealed complicated expressions. Master Demon Xu Mu. I didn't expect him to participate. Xu Mu. Xu Ting. I wonder if they are related. This Xu Mu survived the Yao family's pursuit and still made it here. He is far from simple. So it's him. The six-fingered cultivator's eyes turned cold as he examined Wang Lin. Even the big-headed boy's foolish smile froze for a moment. Then it vanished only to reappear as he stared at Wang Lin once more. The handsome youth in blue became like a drawn sword. His gaze locked onto Wang Lin. Xu Mu, the one cousin Zifeng cannot forget. Killing intent flickered in his eyes. Come with me. The temple lord summons you. The welcoming messenger looked at Wang Lin, revealing a rare smile. His figure flickered as he flew into the distance. Wang Lin paused briefly. Ignoring the surrounding gazes, he rose into the sky and followed. The old man did not move quickly. As he advanced, the clouds before them parted. Wang Lin followed calmly, asking nothing. A trace of admiration appeared in the old man's eyes. He smiled. The Thunder Celestial Temple is vast. What you saw earlier was only the outer hall. I will take you to the inner hall. Wang Lin nodded, looking ahead. As the clouds drifted past, majestic palaces appeared before him. There were countless palaces. Though they stood apart, they stretched endlessly beyond sight. No mortal imperial palace could compare. Dense, celestial spiritual energy filled the air as if this were the celestial realm itself. Wang Lin realized the palaces were extraordinary, the energy emanated from them. The Thunder Celestial Temple contains 1,372 main halls. Each one was personally taken from the Thunder Celestial Realm by the Temple Lord. The old man's voice carried pride. Wang Lin nodded. The Thunder Celestial Temple truly is the most powerful temple in the All-Heaven star system. Such praise was harmless. After 1,000 years of cultivation, Wang Lin understood formalities well. The old man smiled. Fellow Xu's future achievements will surely be great. There will be a place for you here. Wang Lin smiled faintly and continued conversing. Ahead, most of the temple was veiled in a thin mist. Restrictions filled nearly every part of the Thunder Celestial Temple. Even along their path, Wang Lin sensed numerous restrictions. Without the old man leading, these alone would have stopped him. As they advanced, they arrived at the center of the temple. A vast square appeared paved with blue stone. Thunder flowed across it. The square spanned at least 10,000 feet. It resembled a place where thunder leaked into existence. As they approached, the thunder formed a massive mouth attempting to swallow them. The old man laughed. He slapped his storage bag, producing a large number of red fruits. He tossed them into the thunderous mouth. A low roar echoed. The fruits vanished one by one, dissolving into liquid that was absorbed by the thunder. Gradually, the thunder calmed and ceased its obstruction. Celestial Ascension fruits. Wang Lin's gaze fell upon them. Do they seem familiar, fellow cultivator Xu? The old man chuckled. What is sealed here is a clone of the Thunder Spirit that guards the Thunder Celestial Realm. Anyone wishing to enter must offer it a large quantity of Celestial Ascension fruits. Otherwise, that beast will deny entry. The previous Temple Lord used a powerful spell and spent countless years separating a portion of that Thunder Beast, making it the guardian of the Thunder Celestial Temple. Wang Lin studied the Thunder Lake Square with quiet care. Then he withdrew his gaze. Led by the old man, they moved straight toward the eastern side of the Thunder Celestial Temple. From afar, Wang Lin saw a palace far larger than all the others. It resembled a slumbering ancient beast lying in wait. Even before he drew close, a heavy pressure pressed down upon him. Several kilometers away from the hall, the old man stopped. He smiled faintly. "Fellow cultivator Shu, the lord of the temple has summoned only you. I cannot accompany you further. You may proceed alone." Wang Lin's eyes rested on the vast hall in the distance. He turned and cupped his hands. "Senior, thank you for guiding me here." "I am no senior," the old man said, shaking his head. "If the lord of the temple has summoned you, then you are certainly no small fish in a shallow pond. When the time comes, we should become better acquainted." With that, he took his leave. Wang Lin spread his divine sense with caution and advanced. As he approached the main hall, he saw a figure standing outside. Though only the man's back was visible, his presence loomed like a towering mountain. Master Flamespark. Wang Lin showed no surprise. As he neared, he descended and clasped his hands. "Greetings, Senior Master Thunderflame. Should I call you Master Demon Shu Mu, or Wang Lin of the Alliance Star System?" Master Flamespark turned his gaze calm as it fell upon Wang Lin. A trace of surprise flickered in his eyes. "Nirvana Scryer, good, very good." Wang Lin remained composed. His identity had been exposed, yet he showed no sign of panic. "Whether Shu Mu or Wang Lin, it matters little. I believe Senior did not summon me merely to ask my true name." Master Flamespark watched him, then smiled. Within that smile was a faint trace of admiration. "Good. You are worthy of the fate that binds you to this old man. I care not who you are. I ask only this: are you willing to join the war against the Alliance Star System?" Wang Lin fell silent for a moment, then spoke slowly. "This junior's strength is insignificant. Even if I participate, it will not make much difference." "A Nirvana Scryer dares to call himself insignificant." Master Flamespark laughed, yet within his eyes a cold glint flashed. Wang Lin pondered briefly, then nodded. "Since Senior Master Flamespark values me so highly, I will take part in the war." This decision had long been made in his heart. Having come for the competition of the 108 celestial titles, he knew he would inevitably be drawn into conflict with the Alliance Star System. "Good." Master Flamespark waved his sleeve. "Keep the token I gave you safe. It may prove of great use in the future. Consider it the fortune I once promised you." A gust of wind surged before Wang Lin. Light flickered and a transfer array appeared. "Leave through this array. In 3 days, this old man will personally attend the competition with a few friends. Your senior apprentice brother Qing Shui will also be there." With that, Master Flamespark turned and walked into the hall. Wang Lin watched him, then spoke calmly. "Senior Master Flamespark, may I have my Thunder Beast returned? Once the passage is opened, it will naturally be returned to you." His figure vanished into the hall. Wang Lin stood in silence for a moment, then stepped into the transfer array. When he reappeared, he stood within an outer hall beside 4 transfer arrays. No one remained. It was clear the others had already been led to their accommodations. The moment he appeared, Wang Lin turned. Behind him stood a woman. Her beauty was striking, as if carved from flawless jade. She wore a blue dress patterned like flowing water. "Is Senior Shu Mu?" Her voice was clear, pleasant to the ear. Wang Lin nodded. "This junior is Chen Shan. By order of the Lord Messenger, I have been waiting for Senior. This is your token for the celestial competition. Your residence information is also contained within." She respectfully handed him a token the size of a fist. Then she hesitated. Her face flushed red as she spoke softly. "If Senior requires a cultivation furnace during cultivation, you may summon this junior using the token. The Thunder Celestial Temple is willing to provide all necessary assistance to participants." After speaking, her face grew even redder. She bowed and withdrew. Her figure was alluring, and as she left, a faint charm seemed to linger beneath her flowing dress. Wang Lin raised the token and scanned it with his divine sense. It resembled jade containing a simple map of the Thunder Celestial Temple and an inactive transfer array. After locating his residence, he went directly there. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. During these 3 days, Wang Lin cultivated in seclusion, keeping himself in peak condition. As noon approached on the 3rd day, the entire Thunder Celestial Temple became lively. Transfer arrays flashed without pause as groups of cultivators arrived. There were many observers for this celestial title competition. First came the cultivation families from the main planets of each domain. They were only qualified to observe from the outermost edges. Next were families above them, but below the great clans, like the Yao families such as the Shengong and Zhan clans. Above them stood the 4 great families with inheritances from the celestial realm. Finally came the ancient cultivation families, hosting the competition alongside the Thunder Celestial Temple. Though the total number of spectators was not immense, it still reached tens of thousands. Numerous floating platforms had been arranged, allowing all cultivators a place to sit. The battlefield had been set the Thunder Lake Square, spanning 10,000 feet. Outside the square stood more than 10 white pillars, each radiating waves of celestial spiritual energy. Master Flamespark sat cross-legged atop one of them. Beside him sat Celestial Lord Qing Shui, his eyes closed as though he held no interest in any of this. As more observers arrived, the ancestor of the Xiang family appeared. He clasped his hands toward Master Flamespark and took a seat nearby. Soon after, a man in black gongsun arrived and sat down. Then came the Yao family and the other 3 celestial realm inheriting families. The Yao representative was the blood god. He arrived with the old monsters of the other families and took his seat, not even sparing Qing Shui a glance. When the Shengong and Zhan families arrived, their ancestors and Li Yunzi followed, each taking their places. One by one, the ancestors of various cultivation families arrived. At noon, Master Flamespark opened his eyes. The All-Heaven Star System's 108 Celestial Title Battle begins. His voice became thunder itself, echoing across the temple. Countless transfer arrays appeared in the sky, identical in size. One after another, cultivators emerged. Among them, Wang Lin. The blood god raised his head. His eerie gaze locked onto Wang Lin. A cold snort escaped him before he looked away, his expression dark. Yet he was not the only one watching. From the crowd below, another gaze fell upon Wang Lin. Shi Zifeng bit her lower lip as she stared silently at him in the sky. A faint sigh escaped her and confusion flickered in her eyes. Ever since returning from the Thunder Celestial Realm, Wang Lin's figure had remained in her heart. She could not forget. When she heard he was being hunted by the Yao family, her heart trembled. Yet she was powerless to help. Day after day, she could not calm her mind to cultivate. When she later heard he had escaped, joy surged within her. Yet beneath that joy, there was bitterness. I'm afraid he has already forgotten my name. Shi Zifeng was beautiful. She knew this well. Countless elites had expressed their affection. Even within her own family, her outstanding cousin Shi Zimu admired her deeply. Yet she had always remained indifferent. She had never considered dual cultivation. Her dream had always been to follow in her ancestors' footsteps, to become a female cultivator whose power could pierce the heavens. But all of that changed when she met Wang Lin. Even she could not understand it. The shock she felt when he led hundreds of cultivators in a charge into the Thunder Celestial Temple's transfer, a ray she could never forget. At first she believed time would erase it all. But now seeing him again, she bit her lip until it bled, yet felt nothing. She stared at that figure, familiar yet utterly distant. Not far from her sat an old woman. She was not qualified to sit upon the praying mats, yet she was the Shi family's ancestor. She looked at Shi Zifeng and frowned. Then she sighed softly. An ill-fated bond. In the sky, Wang Lin remained calm. He looked down upon the gathered cultivators of the All-Heaven Star System, especially those seated upon the praying mats. Each of them possessed cultivation no weaker than the blood ancestor. Many far surpassed him. When all 325 transfer arrays had appeared, every participant stood revealed. Master Flamespark spoke once more, his tone steady. This competition is divided into 3 trials, 6 paths, and 1 path to the heavens. The 3 trials, heaven, earth, and human, will test cultivation. The 6 paths of the mysterious void represent the cycle of the Tao. These trials will determine the 108 celestial titles. Afterward, participants will enter the final stage, the path to the heavens, a life and death battle. The 36 with the highest number of kills will be granted the heaven celestial titles. Their names will be inscribed upon the celestial bestowing stone. The moment his words fell, a great stir erupted. Even those seated upon the praying mats were shaken. All eyes turned toward Master Flamespark. The Xiang ancestor, Gongsun, both showed surprise. Even Qing Shui slowly opened his eyes. A chilling light flickered within them. The celestial bestowing stone, left behind by the ancient celestials. Master Flamespark's voice was calm as he spoke slowly, each word steady and unhurried. It is indeed that stone. The old man's gaze dimmed slightly, shadows gathering in his eyes as he said, "Rumor has it that this stone is a relic from the ancient celestial realm. If one can leave their name upon it, then their soul may directly enter that ancient celestial realm, the one said to have long since vanished. I did not expect the celestial bestowing stone would appear here within the Thunder Celestial Temple." The middle-aged man, named Gongsun, opened and closed his eyes. Each time his eyes opened, faint light shimmered within them. His voice remained calm. "Although the ancient celestial realm has disappeared, rumors persist. They say that after countless years it will reopen. And when that time comes, only those whose names remain upon the celestial bestowing stone will be permitted entry. Though it is merely rumor, it is the only clue that remains." The surroundings fell into absolute silence. Aside from a select few, almost no one present knew what the celestial bestowing stone truly was. Yet after hearing the words of the old man named Xiang, all of them immediately understood the weight it carried. Still, many cultivators had never even heard of the ancient celestial realm. They turned instinctively toward the elders of their respective clans, seeking answers in their expressions. Master Flamespark spoke calmly once more. "When the Thunder Celestial realm collapsed, the celestial bestowing stone shattered into countless fragments. My Thunder Celestial Temple did not obtain it, so there is no need to dwell on this matter. It was only when that senior captured the moon beast that he sought me out and gifted me a fragment no larger than a fist." After these words were spoken, the old monsters seated upon the prayer mats all fell silent. None of them continued to inquire. The 3 trials, heaven, earth, and human. The first trial is the trial of man. "Endure 10 breaths of time, and you shall pass." Russell enter the Thunder Lake. Master Thunderspark's voice spread outward, echoing across the area. A streak of green light approached rapidly, then condensed into a middle-aged man clad in green robes before everyone. The man cupped his hands toward the crowd and said, "As the Lord of the Temple commands." As he spoke, he descended toward the square below. He landed lightly, standing with one hand behind his back. A faint trace of pride lingered within his otherwise calm expression. His appearance immediately drew the attention of the surrounding cultivators. Some recognized him at once, and murmurs spread. Russell of the Thunder Celestial Temple. It is said he reached the mid-stage of Nirvana Scrya 300 years ago. He has remained in closed-door cultivation ever since, never once appearing. I did not expect him to serve as the gatekeeper for the human trial. This Russell is no ordinary figure, especially his divine sense. Its transformation is said to be extraordinary. Even renowned old monsters have praised him. The discussions echoed continuously. Russell lifted his head and looked toward the hundreds of juniors in the sky. His gaze was indifferent, almost cold. "In my eyes," he said calmly, "none of you are qualified to become one of the 108 Celestials. Killing you would be no more difficult than crushing ants. Now I will point at one of you. Whoever I point to, come down." After his words fell, most of the cultivators who had arrived through the transfer arrays darkened in expression. Shu Ting, in particular, had a red glint flicker in his eyes, though he remained silent. Russell wasted no time. His right hand lifted casually and pointed toward a cultivator from the northern domain. The moment he was pointed at, the cultivator hesitated. That single moment of hesitation caused Russell to let out a cold snort. His right hand reached forward, and a massive hand manifested in the air. It surged forward at terrifying speed, so fast that even the surrounding cultivators could feel the wind tearing past them. The giant hand moved like lightning. In an instant it seized the cultivator and dragged him down mercilessly, throwing him aside upon the square. The cultivator's face turned deathly pale. He was only at the illusory yin stage. When the giant hand grasped him, it felt as though icy power had invaded his body, freezing even his origin energy. The moment he hit the ground, he immediately sat down in the lotus position to stabilize himself. Russell's impatience became evident. He had never considered this so-called celestial title competition worthy of his time. If not for the fact that the Lord of the Temple had personally commanded him, leaving him no room to refuse, he would never have agreed to preside over the first trial. There was, however, another reason for his presence. After dragging the cultivator down, the impatience in his eyes deepened further. His divine sense spread outward, and the very world seemed to change color. His divine sense was strange, capable of shifting form at will. As it spread, a golden giant manifested instantly. A thunderous rumble echoed across the void. The giant stepped forward. In just 3 steps, it reached the cultivator seated on the ground. Without hesitation, it raised its fist and struck downward. Before the punch even landed, the cultivator's face turned ashen. Terror filled his eyes. The wind generated by the fist sent his clothes and hair whipping violently backward. Wang Lin's eyes burned like torches as he watched. The moment the golden fist descended, the cultivator's body trembled violently. Blood spilled from his mouth. His origin soul was forcibly shaken out, appearing in a blurred state. Panic surged within him as his origin soul attempted to retreat. Russell let out a cold snort. The golden giant withdrew its fist, stepped back, and stood silently beside him once more. "Trash," Russell said coldly. "With your cultivation and mental strength, you are not qualified to participate in the celestial title competition. You are not qualified." The impatience in his gaze intensified. Testing such a person felt like nothing more than a waste of time. The cultivator's origin soul returned to his body. His face remained pale as he looked toward Russell, lips parting slightly as though to speak. Yet in the end, no words came. He simply bowed, then turned and returned to the transfer array. In a flash, he disappeared. From the original 325-1 was gone. Russell frowned. His gaze swept across the cultivators in the sky. Casually, he pointed again. The cultivator he selected gritted his teeth and descended immediately. After landing upon the square, he clasped his hands respectfully. "Senior, please enlighten me." Russell's expression softened slightly, though he did not speak. The golden giant stepped forward once more, repeating the same technique. The cultivator clenched his teeth. His hands formed a seal, and a white light enveloped his body, attempting to block the incoming strike. Yet the moment the golden fist approached, the white light shattered instantly. He was forced backward. Biting the tip of his tongue, he spat out a mouthful of blood, forming a mist to intercept the attack. The golden fist collided with the blood mist, producing a thunderous sound. The mist collapsed. The cultivator's face turned pale. His origin soul was already more than halfway forced out of his body. With a pained cry, a series of cracking sounds echoed from within him as he forcibly pulled his origin soul back inside. Yet this was already beyond his limits. Though his origin soul returned, his entire body weakened drastically. "You endured 10 breaths, Russell said indifferently. "You pass. But even trash like you passing means nothing. You will be eliminated in the next trial." He waved his sleeve. The cultivator was flung back into the air. His face pale, he bowed once more before returning to his transfer array, immediately sitting down to recover. Soon after cultivator was selected. Those who reacted swiftly avoided trouble. Those who hesitated were dragged down just like the first, often injured before the trial even began. As more and more cultivators landed upon the square, one word echoed repeatedly from Russell's lips: trash. Even those who passed could not escape being labeled as such. Russell grew increasingly impatient. Eventually, the golden giant would throw its punch even before the participant had fully landed. Time passed quickly. More than half of the cultivators had been tested. Roughly 40% succeeded. The man with 6 fingers, the large-headed youth, and Nangong Shan, all possessing high cultivation, passed without issue. Only when testing them did Russell's expression ease slightly. He did not call them trash. "You, come down." Russell pointed upward. The person he selected was Shu Ting of planet Dong Lin. A red glint flashed within Shu Ting's eyes. A grim smile spread across his face. Russell's gaze turned cold. His right hand reached forward, and the massive hand reappeared, rushing directly toward Shu Ting. As the hand closed in, Shu Ting formed a seal. Black gas surged around him, taking the shape of a demonic figure. The figure roared and entangled itself with the giant hand. Shu Ting sneered and rushed forward. He did not descend to the square to be tested. Instead, as he advanced, he brought his hands together, then separated them. Black gas surged outward, forming a long black lance. A cold glint flashed in Russell's eyes. The golden giant surged forward toward Shu Ting. Shu Ting abruptly shifted direction. He abandoned his path toward Russell and instead appeared beside the golden giant in a single step. His spear thrust forward. The golden giant swung its fist, but at the moment the black lance was about to collide with the fist, it twisted violently. The spearhead transformed. It became a strange black snake, slender and elongated. Its mouth opened wide, its body stretching dozens of feet in an instant. The sight was unnatural, disturbing. The surrounding cultivators grew solemn. The snake opened its mouth and swallowed the golden giant whole. Wang Lin's pupils shrank. "The Shu family's celestial spell, Snake Devour," the old man named Xiang said with a nod, admiration filling his eyes. "Not bad," another elder said with a faint laugh. "This Shu Ting is likely the strongest among all the participants." The surrounding cultivators also recognized the technique, having learned of it from their own elders. One of the 4 great spells of the Shu family from planet Dong Lin, Snake Devour. A mysterious and terrifying technique. Watch carefully. This spell allows one to devour opponents of lower cultivation directly and convert their power into one's own. Celestial Lord Qing Shui remained silent. His gaze was cold as he looked at Shu Ting, saying nothing at all. Russell's eyes grew colder still. Yet when he recalled that this man came from the Shu family of planet Dong Lin, he forcefully suppressed his anger and gave a cold snort. Qualified. After devouring the golden giant, Shu Ting burst into loud laughter and withdrew with his black lance. Upon returning to the transfer array, he cast a provocative glance toward Wang Lin. Russell's expression darkened. He pointed toward the remaining cultivators in the sky. This time his finger stopped on Wang Lin. "You, come down." A faint glint flickered within Russell's eyes. He already recognized Wang Lin's face. One of the reasons he had come to oversee this first trial was precisely for him. Wang Lin remained calm. Without haste, he stepped down toward the square. As if dissatisfied with his pace, Russell snorted coldly. A massive hand formed and reached toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's brows furrowed slightly. As the enormous hand descended, it stirred a violent gale. If he neither dodged nor resisted, even if he passed the trial, he would still be injured. Wang Lin was not one to endure humiliation. A cold light flashed in his eyes. The third eye between his brows suddenly opened. A fan-shaped red glow burst forth and instantly covered the giant hand. He did not pause. He continued walking forward. As the red light enveloped the hand, crackling sounds echoed. The hand shattered and dissipated. Wang Lin landed upon the square. He clasped his hands toward Russell and spoke calmly. "Please advise." Master Flamespark's eyes lit up. Upon seeing that red light, it was as though enlightenment dawned upon him. A trace of admiration appeared in his gaze. This child possesses such a spell. Though its power is lacking, it contains a grand Tao. Qing Shui's expression remained indifferent. He glanced once at Wang Lin, then withdrew his gaze. Aside from them, the other elders also showed interest. Only the blood god remained gloomy, sneering inwardly. Among the rest, only a few could perceive the profundity of that third eye. Shi Zifeng's ancestor sighed softly. So young, yet his cultivation is already so formidable. This one is not simple. Russell's expression grew even darker. Wang Lin's spell had shaken him slightly. He stared intently as his divine sense spread outward. A golden giant appeared at once, radiating a fierce brilliance. It carried a force capable of shaking the origin soul as it charged toward Wang Lin. After 3 steps, the golden giant threw a punch. The fist carried power that directly affected the origin soul. Wang Lin had already discerned this earlier. At this moment his hands formed seals. Restrictions instantly appeared around him. Layer upon layer, countless restrictions manifested densely packed, then spread outward to surround the area. As the golden giant approached, Wang Lin pointed forward. The restrictions surged forth. His gaze remained calm. Seal. Endless restrictions swarmed the golden giant, layering upon it again and again. By the time it neared Wang Lin, it could no longer move. It was completely sealed in place. From the moment Wang Lin stepped onto the square, he had not moved a single inch. Now he coldly glanced at Russell, ignoring the golden giant frozen mid-punch, just 3 inches away. He turned and walked away. His black hair drifted lightly. His white robe gave him an air of quiet elegance. Though his appearance was ordinary, there was an indescribable presence about him. Passing the first trial with such ease drew the attention of all surrounding cultivators. Xu Ting stared at Wang Lin, a red glint flashing in his eyes. Shi Zifeng's heart pounded wildly. A faint blush rose on her face as she looked at him. It was as though the events of the Thunder Celestial realm unfolded before her once more. This man's restrictions are extremely powerful, the 6-fingered cultivator murmured, frowning at the sealed golden giant. The big-headed boy still wore a foolish smile. Yet within that smile a trace of coldness lingered. Russell's face sank like water. He stared at Wang Lin, recalling what he had learned 2 days ago after leaving seclusion. His brother had been killed within the transfer array of the Thunder Celestial realm. The killer was named Zhu Mu, and this Zhu Mu was now within the Thunder Celestial Temple, participating in the Celestial title competition. Russell's eyes turned icy. He did not wish to kill him here, but he would not allow Zhu Mu to pass the first trial. Once Zhu Mu left the Thunder Celestial Temple, that would be the moment of his death. With a cold snort, Russell's divine sense surged outward. The sealed golden giant suddenly shone with blinding light. It was as if boundless power had been poured into it. The surrounding restrictions collapsed one after another. The golden giant stepped forward. A massive golden sword appeared in its hand. It slashed down toward Wang Lin. At the same time as Russell's divine sense erupted, the giant grew to over 1,000 feet tall. 2 more golden giants appeared above the square, charging toward Wang Lin. The 3 giants moved with terrifying speed, stirring a storm as they rushed him. Wang Lin's eyes turned fierce and cold. He retreated swiftly. His hands formed seals, summoning restrictions to block one of the giants. At the same time, he raised his right hand and slashed downward at another. Dozens of heavenly chops manifested instantly. They pierced through the restrictions and surged toward the second giant. As for the third giant, Wang Lin stepped forward. His right hand lifted. The Wither Dao pair shone brightly. An ominous aura filled heaven and earth. The third golden giant dimmed instantly. A grey light flickered. Without hesitation, Wang Lin formed a sword with 2 fingers and pointed forward. The golden giant collapsed with a thunderous crash. Simultaneously, under the combined force of restrictions and heavenly chops, the other 2 giants also crumbled. But at that very moment, Russell moved. This was the first time he had acted directly, rather than through divine sense. He moved like lightning, too fast to follow. In an instant, he closed in and pointed a finger at Wang Lin. This finger contained his full cultivation. Mid-stage Nirvana scryer power surged forth. Wang Lin's eyes turned icy. There was no time to retreat. He opened his mouth and spat out the celestial sealing stamp. Russell's finger struck the stamp, causing it to tremble violently. A terrifying force surged through it. This force did not affect Wang Lin's body, it struck directly at his origin soul. His origin soul was forced 3 inches out of his body. Before he could fully retract it, Russell revealed a grim smile. He withdrew his finger and retreated. Not qualified. Russell waved his sleeve and pointed toward another cultivator in the sky. You. Come down. His actions were bold, even reckless. Many were watching. Yet he relied on his status within the Thunder Celestial Temple. He believed he had not crossed any unforgivable line. The cultivator he pointed at descended in silence. At that moment, Wang Lin, who had been pushed back over 100 feet, revealed killing intent. Not qualified. He had come for the celestial title competition. He had come to win. He intended to take first place. Russell's words had touched his bottom line. If he truly lacked qualification, then so be it. But this was clearly deliberate suppression. Wang Lin's eyes turned ice cold. He stepped forward. He did not even glance at the descending cultivator. That man felt a chilling wind, and his expression changed drastically. He hurriedly retreated, cursing inwardly. You say I'm not qualified. As Wang Lin advanced, a monstrous killing intent erupted from his body. Mid-stage Nirvana Scryer was not an insurmountable peak. Since the beginning of his cultivation, Wang Lin had walked a path of slaughter. Though he lacked confidence in defeating such an opponent, he would not accept leaving like this. Moreover, with Qing Shui present, he feared nothing. As he charged forward, Wang Lin raised his hand. Cool the wind surged across the area. Black wind howled, covering the sky. 2 black dragons emerged, roaring with heaven-shaking fury as they lunged toward Russell. Russell's eyes gleamed. He smiled coldly. You dare defy the will of the Thunder Celestial Temple? He stepped forward. His divine sense spread outward. 9 golden giants appeared instantly. Each stood over 1,000 feet tall, wielding massive swords. They roared in unison and charged toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin laughed wildly. The laughter was cold. Endless cold. His right hand rose. The Karma Whip appeared. As the 2 black dragons roared, the whip lashed out. Thunder rumbled through the heavens. The Karma Whip struck like madness. In an instant, 3 golden giants collapsed. Wang Lin charged straight toward Russell, killing intent surging like a storm. Russell's expression shifted slightly as he stared at the Karma Whip. A trace of coldness flickered in Qing Shui's eyes. This is more like a disciple of my Master Bai Fan.